Vanakkam, Namaskaram. My name is Karthik Krishnasamy. I am a Ghatam artist based in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I am a disciple of the Ghatam Maestro, Laya Vatya Sironmani Sri Suresh Vaidyanathan, or famously known as Ghatam Suresh, as a master. I have been his student for the past 7 years. In the year 2014, I started learning with him, the advanced Ghatam techniques with him, and that culminates to my Arangetram in the year 2018 with his blessing and guidance. And I've made my Arangetram in the year 2018 here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Today, I'm gonna speak about the instrument that I play the most, which is Ghatam, a rare earthen pot instrument that is widely being used in Carnatic music. And I thank Sugam Karnatika to give me an opportunity to conduct a lecture demonstration on this instrument. Thank you. So, Ghatam, or the earthen pot instrument that you see beside me, is the instrument that actually being widely used in Carnatic music. Basically, when we go to a kacheri for a vocal arangetram or vocal kacheri, paattu kacheri சொல்லுவாங்க, paattu kacheri, or any instrumental kacheri such as veena, such as flute, such as violin kacheri. So Ghatam is an instrument that actually plays a very important role on the role of percussion, apart from the Rajavatyam, which is the Mridangam. So after the Mridangam, then Upapakavadyam, or supporting percussion instrument, then the Ghatam, Ganjira, Mossing comes into place. So when we go into for a kacheri, and if we have a set of Mridangam player, a set of Ganjira player, a set of Magadam player, then these are the full set of an instrument. And of course, you can also have a Mossing instrument also, Mossing player also. Then Ghatam also plays a role over here, where during the accompaniment, at the same time during the Taniyavartanam, you will be showcasing your talent through the instrument. Right. So the Ghatam, when you look into history of the Ghatam, okay, so Ghatam, other names of Ghatam would be Pane, Tamil la vandu Pane nu solluvaanga, Tamil. So these are the instruments that actually being used all those days, yesteryears, in a folk instrument. Folk means folk songs, folk performances, where if you go to the village, and then they will be for to entertain themselves after a long day in the long day harvesting, or then they'll be using this instrument to actually accompany for any kind of folk songs or folk traditional based performances. And at one point of the era, we have Palani Krishna Iyer, where he have actually used the Ghatam, or bring Ghatam to the Carnatic arena. So when it's being used in Carnatic arena, then that's where now, after so many years of evolution, then we have Ghatam as the predominant instrument of Upapakavadyam in a Carnatic music scene. Next, we look into the types of Ghatam. Okay, so now predominantly we only have Mana Madurai Ghatam, which is being manufactured by a family in Mana Madurai, a town in southern India. It's actually a town on the way from Madurai to Rameshwaram. So you have a town called Mana Madurai, and this family has been manufacturing this instrument for the past 4 generations. Okay, so Mana Madurai Ghatam, which is famously being used by all Ghatam Vidwans throughout the world. Now, what are the other types of Ghatam that actually we have? Okay, so I'll just demonstrate one by one. So we have Madras Ghatam over here. Okay, light in weight, and it's being now we don't have Madras Ghatam. It's being now is known as a rare item in the Ghatam itself. So if you find any Madras Ghatam in, then it's very rare. So because you can't get any Madras Ghatam anymore. So to look at the sound wise, okay, so these are the kind of strokes that I actually played for the Madras Ghatam. Very light bass, and when you play lightly, the sound is even heard very strongly. So you do not need to put a lot of effort to play. Of course, when you're playing Ghatam, of course you have to have an effort and everything. But being the instrument is actually when you have a light touch itself, the sound is being heard. So it would be much easier Ghatam to actually handle and play. Okay, so this is Madras Ghatam. Okay, now next one we're gonna look into is the Pondicherry Ghatam. Okay, this is very rare, and I'm very fortunate that my guru Suresh Vaidyanathan, he had one and he gifted me one. So this is the Pondicherry Ghatam that he had. This sounds similar to Madras Ghatam. Okay, so this is Pondicherry Ghatam. Okay, Pondicherry or Puducherry. Okay, so this is a city in southern India. So this Pondicherry Ghatam is no longer being manufactured. So if you see Madras, if you see Pondicherry Ghatam, is no longer manufactured. Yeah. So these are the different type of Ghatam, Pondicherry. Then we have Bangalore Ghatam. So Bangalore Ghatam, if you see, the neck part is shorter compared to this one. You see the longer neck. This is a very shorter neck. Okay, compared to Madras also. Okay, similar to Madras, but this portion over here, the body part is over here is a bit wider. Okay, so in terms of shapes wise also is a bit different. So this is being gifted by my Mridangam Guru, Sri Ravi Shankar Master from Bangalore. So I had an opportunity that I got this Ghatam from him, and it's a very rare piece also, where there is no any Bangalore Ghatam at the moment also. Okay? So this is a different pitch, so you'll see a different sound here. So it's very sharp sound compared to the other one. So this is the Bangalore Ghatam. Okay, so now we come to the okay. See, when I carry itself is a bit tough for me. So it's very heavy Ghatam, and this is Mana Madurai Ghatam, widely being used by all Ghatam Vidwans because of its sound quality. At the same time, you can't get Madras Ghatam, Pondicherry Ghatam and Bangalore Ghatam. So the only choice is for you to play Mana Madurai Ghatam. So comparably to other Ghatams, these are hard to play because you have to play harder in order to actually bring the sound out. Okay, so but then the sound quality would be a bit different, and compared to the other Ghatams. Yeah, so can you see the different sound? It's a ringing sound, but it's much it's not so sharp as per other Ghatams. So this is Mana Mudra Ghatam, heavy in weight, and another thing is the good part is actually it stays over here. Whenever you play any kind of effort, or you play it harder and everything, it won't break. It is such I would say reliable for me to play, and robust. Yeah, robust. So we have looked into the different types of Ghatam. Okay, so Madurai, I said this is Madras, and then you have Pondicherry, you have Bangalore, and you have Mana Madurai Ghatam. So we have looked into the types of Ghatam. So now we look into how it is being manufactured and what's the structure, what is being used. Okay, so taking an example of Mana Madurai, where I had the privilege to go to the place to actually purchase a Ghatam, at the same time see how they manufacture the Ghatam. So there you have, okay, so Mana Madurai you have a river called Vaigai Aathunu சொல்லுவாங்க. So it's being believed that actually the soil from the Vaigai Aaru, okay, is being it has a quality of a soil that actually quite strong, and it's actually have some iron content into the soil as well. So they actually will be taking the soil, okay, they will actually take the soil and then they mix it with other few types of soil, including manal, which is what we call sand. So including manal, so they will actually mix it. Okay, then they will actually include there are two chemical compounds that will be used, and then they will actually soak it, and after two to 3 days after it's soaked, then they will actually try to they will mold it in a sense that first they will actually step it. Okay, it's a big round of soil, and then they will step it and step to make the soil quite soft for them to actually mold. So it's a typical way of how they how you see in the television, when they mold any kind of pot. So it's the same thing. So they just put it and then they'll just mold it. Of course you have a chakram or a motorized machine that actually turns. So then you actually take the Ghatam into the shape. So once you take the Ghatam into the shape, okay, then it will be dried out for 2 days. Then there is a process of Tattu process. Okay, they will actually put one small wooden kind of placement over here. Then there is another wood. There is no wooden stick or wooden. It's like a flat wooden like a if you're using if you're playing ping pong, so you can see the ping pong bat. So same as a ping pong bat, you have a wooden bat like that, and then they will slowly hit over here to actually make all the surface over here is equal. Okay, everything is the same and everything. Then they will actually dry it. Okay, dry it for a few days and everything before they before they burn it. So previously what they do is they will actually manufacture about 100 over Ghatams. Okay, then they will put a big place, and then they'll place all those wooden sticks and everything, and then Vadanjapana and everything they will put, and then they will actually arrange all the Ghatams over here. On top of that, they will put all these Vaikai pools. So they will put some dried leaves or dried kind of leaves. They will actually place it on top of the Ghatam. Then they will set it on fire. So actually for the Ghatam to take place, to take a shape. Sorry. Okay. So that is previously. Okay. Solen solanga or periya neruppu. They will actually do that. They will actually burn the Ghatam, and then after that, after few a few hours or maybe about 12 hours or half a day or maybe 1 day of burning, then only they will actually take out the Ghatam slowly, then they will leave it to settle, then then we will it's ready for to be for the seller to actually for the manufacturer to sell the Ghatam. So that is previously. So now with all the technologies now, so we don't use this kind of they don't use this kind of technology at the moment. So what they do, they have a big oven. Okay, so once Ghatam is being molded, they'll place it into the oven. Then the baking process, I would say, baking process takes about 12 hours to bake the Ghatam. So what I can share is what is being shared by the manufacturer itself. So if you want a higher pitch Ghatam now, if you're talking about 4, which is F sharp, G sharp, you want a higher pitch of Ghatam, then the burning must be Kudanirpana is more fire. Probably you burn more. Okay. Then if you're looking for Shruti na 1, 2 or lower Shruti, then you don't need that kind of heat for the Ghatam. So this is how it's being manufactured. So how after they manufacture, they will actually they'll apply this paint. Okay, if you look at all this brown paint, they'll actually apply this paint and everything. Then it's for sale. So Ghatam Vidwans or Ghatam artists, what they do, they'll go to the Mana Madre and then they'll select the Ghatam. Okay, so if let's say from 100 Ghatams that the Ghatam manufacturer makes, probably they will be, because it's completely done with soil and everything. So there are certain side of the Ghatam you won't get the same pitch. So in that sense, the Ghatam won't be purchased by the Vidwans for any kacheri purpose, but it will be purchased for the students to actually practice anything. So I would say, if you're making about 100 Ghatams, probably in the process of the 100 Ghatams itself, some will break because of overheatness. Some maybe you didn't tap it properly in the earlier process and everything, then it will break. So you may have from 100 Ghatams, probably you may end up a Ghatam that actually half of it, only 50 Ghatams will be good, in a good condition, that you can actually sell. And based on that, from the 50 you may have like some out of pitch, where you have to sell it in a cheaper price for the practice sessions. So this is how Ghatam is being manufactured. Okay, so if you're speaking about buying from Mana Madre, is okay, but you see, this is a fragile instrument. So if it's a fragile instrument, when you transport it to another place, then the risk of transportation is also there. So probably if you're transporting 10 Ghatams, 1 or 2 maybe break because of some other carelessness or any kind of incident that actually can happen and can break the instruments, because it's fragile. Okay, and in my experience, I have bought so many Ghatams, okay, and from India, and I brought few, and then 2 Ghatams unfortunately broke in between. So so it's very unfortunate. So I always when I go to India and I purchase a Ghatam and bring it over to Malaysia, I'm just praying, at least the Ghatam must reach safely over here. But of course now with this we do have a fiber casing and everything, so you can actually place the Ghatam inside, and then you can actually check it into the luggage and it won't happen anything. So this is now. So with all the technologies we have, so Ghatam, whatever Ghatam that you purchase in India, you can actually transport it over here to Malaysia. Now, when you talk about the Ghatam itself, the manufacturing of the Ghatam itself, this is the instrument that you apply all the 5 elements. 5 பஞ்சபூதம் சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ 5 பஞ்சபூதமும் அமைக்கப்பட்டத இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட் தான் Ghatam. Okay, so basically இப்போ நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வந்துட்டு Ghatam itself is made of soil, so you're taking the soil, okay, and the soil வடிவமைக்க வந்துட்டு you're using the water, so you're using water to actually make the Ghatam come into a shape, okay. Then of course to dry it you're using the wind, okay, so wind actually to dry the whole Ghatam, and of course you have the fire to actually bake, or to actually, I would say bake because nowadays we use oven anyway, to actually burn or bake the Ghatam or now. So after that, of course when you bring the Ghatam itself, the space, the hollow space in between, you will have the sound. So this is the space in the Ghatam. It's the mouth part of the Ghatam, where when you hit, you will have a sound. Okay, so playing this instrument that actually all the 5 Panchabhudam அமைக்கப்பட்ட instrument is a very proud moment. Okay, so no any other instrument that actually have this kind of element. So this is the only instrument that actually have the all the manufactured using all the 5 elements of the earth world. When you talk about Shruti, Ghatam Shruti, okay, how it is being what kind of Shruti that actually we use for the singer or the instrumentalist, okay. So it's based on the singer itself. If the padagar or the vocalist would like to sing in 5.5, then we will bring a 5.5 Ghatam. So if it's a male vocalist who would like to sing in Oru Katta Shruti or Rendu Katta Shruti, then if you see this is a Rendu Katta Shruti, this is D, so this will be applicable for him. Okay, so how we look into Shruti is we will hit this part, this neck part of the Ghatam will actually hit, which equivalent to the other subjam of the vocalist. So if you look at sa, you have to match it. Okay, the sound has to match it. Okay, so unlike other percussion instrument that we use in Carnatic music, for an example, Mridangam வந்துட்டு if you bring it for Thagu Shrutina, you can actually reduce half a note. If let's say it's a Rendu Katta Shruti Mridangam வச்சுக்கோங்க, so அதில் வந்துட்டு what we can do is we can reduce this Shruti probably half a note or probably 1 note, you can bring it down. So 2 you can actually bring it to 1.5, or you can bring it to 1, or from 2 you can actually go up 2.5. 3, I don't know whether it's possible or not, but yes, if it's the Ghatam, the Mridangam itself is in good condition and everything with the help of some small pullu and everything, yes, you can actually increase it to other Shrutis. Okay, why I'm saying this is 1 Mridangam you can actually reduce those Shruti half note or 1 note, or increase it half note 1 note, but it's for Ghatam you can't do that. So something that you don't you can't hit with a stone and then reduce the sound. No, அடிச்சிங்கன்னா உடைச்சிடும். So it's very fragile. You hit, it will break. Okay, so what Ghatam artists will do is, if let's say you would like to reduce half a note, what I believe is Ghatam, when you want to reduce, then it's possible, but for you to increase, not possible at all. So if you want to reduce it, yes, it's possible with a half a note reduction, so that the tonal quality will be still good. But if you reduce it to 1.5 or 2 notes down, you apply a lot of clay, such as this. Okay, so you actually have to use a clay, this clay over here, and then you apply at the neck portion over here. So basically you make this neck portion a bit thicker from the original. Then the note will actually come down to half or 1 note. But to what what I say, half a note would be sufficient, and you don't lose the tonal quality. If it's 1 or 1.5 or 2, then you won't really get the tonal quality of the Ghatam when you play. So there are few methods of doing reduction of Shruti on the Ghatam. Okay, firstly we will use this kind of clay. This this is a Play-Doh clay. Okay, so it's a clay that we can use. We can just apply it over here, and other method is actually you can actually use water. Okay, you just pour it over here, pour it on the neck part over here, so it will be dampened because it's made of soil anyway. Dampened. Okay, then it will last for the entire kachari for 2 hours. It will last. Okay, until it dries out. When it dries out, then actually the pitch will be going up again. So my method of reducing those the Shruti, I won't be using this water technique and everything, but only I'll be using this clay, which is much better because I just remove the clay, then yeah, the rather than you pour water and everything, then probably it may affect the Ghatam's tonal quality in the future. So water-based technique is hardly I've used it, but of course my guru have used this water technique and demonstrated it. But yeah, so you have these two techniques that actually we can use to reduce the Shruti of the Ghatam. Now, so how many Ghatams, if you for a Ghatam artist, how many Ghatams you have to have? Because it's based on how to say Shruti anyway, right? So right now I'm having about 30 Ghatams in my place. So each I have a Shruti, I have a equivalent Shruti for each how to say equivalent Shruti Ghatam, sorry. So if I have someone some vocalist or some performers who comes in and I want to play in a C sharp, 1 katta Ghatam or 1 katta Ghatam, then we have 1 and 1.5 we can actually have. Then of course 2 instrument, veena, violin and everything, you have 2, 2.5, 3. Then yeah, you have the instrument, you have the Ghatam instruments. That particular pitch that you actually can take, and then you can just play immediately. So and then unlike Ganjira you have Ganjira, if you know, it is one single-handed instrument that you play. Okay, that doesn't have any Shruti based anything also. So you just have to dampen it with water, and then once the skin dampen, and then you can just play. So Ganjira artists, maximum I think you can actually have about 2 or 3 Ganjira. It's okay. Morsing, of course, Morsing same. Morsing shares the same as Ghatam. So Ghatam with one, if you want to establish yourself, once you establish yourself and you want to go for a kacheri and everything, yes, you have to have the Ghatam for all the Shrutis that you have. Okay, so these are the techniques of Shruti, and also how to reduce those Shruti using the clay mode and also the water-based mode. Okay, so now we look into the playing techniques of Ghatam. Okay, so Ghatam is only one instrument that actually you use all the 10 fingers. Okay, so unlike Mridangam வாசிக்கும் போது, you don't use thumb, you don't use katta viral, you don't use of course you use this finger, and everything you can use, but katta viral you don't use. Okay, Ganjira also. Ganjira, of course, another thing is actually you have only one-sided entry you use. Morsing also you have some limitation. Ghatam is an instrument that actually you use all those fingers. Okay, so I'll just demonstrate one by one. So if first few techniques that actually I will use these both katta viral or the thumb finger, tiri. Okay, this is tiri. So tiri solvanga, or some other school of thought, they will actually have it as kitta or tiri, something like that. So my school of thought, we have been using we use tiri to actually denominate this tiri. Okay, then of course we have kitta. Okay, so how do we if you're learning Mridangam, or if you're learning Ganjira, if you're learning Ghatam and everything, the first lesson that actually you learn is Tat Tit Tum Nam. Okay, எதுலையுமே வந்துட்டு whatever instrument that you play on the percussion instrument பார்த்தீங்கன்னா Tat Tit Tum Nam comes the first lesson. So of course in Mridangam வந்துட்டு Tat Tit Tum Nam, you just play in Mridangam, but here in this instrument you play Tat Tit Tum Nam. So this is Satis Domna. Okay, so moving on, Ghatam Solu Ghatam வந்துட்டு more sort of Farans technique where you play fast fingering method in Ghatam. Okay, of course you have a slow method as well, but when you apply those fast fingering method on the Ghatam, it sounds very prominent. Okay, so for an example, this is a basic lesson. Okay, Tari Keta. Okay, Tari Keta. So I can actually play Tari Keta, Tari Keta. Okay, comparable to okay, this is Tari Keta, 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 Tari Keta. Okay, so where is the portion that actually we use all 10 fingers at one time. So now I'm using only here, I'm not using my thumb over here. Okay, so I can actually combine using my thumb as well. So these are the methods, usually some basic methods. Okay, basic methods that actually will be used during our Ghatam accompaniments for any kacheri performances. Okay, so when you talk about Ghatam masters, the teachers all this while. Okay, so I'll just briefly explain about some of the yesteryear legends on Ghatam. So we have Palani Krishna Iyer, we have Umayalpuram Kodandarama Iyer. So these are the yesteryear legends that actually brought Ghatam into Carnatic music. Okay, now I think the predominantly very famous Ghatam maestro or Ghatam Meru சொல்லுவாங்க, which is Vikku Vinayakaram sir. Okay, so he is predominantly plays the role of Palakkad Mani Iyer. So if you look at Mridangam வந்துட்டு Palakkad Mani Iyer is the person that actually revolutionary on Mridangam. So where he revolutionized the art of playing Mridangam. So similarly, when you talk about Vikku Vinayakaram master, he is the person who revolutionized the playing of Ghatam. So Vikku Vinayakaram master is the yesteryear legends and now still legendary in his older age also. He is very capable of playing the stroke sharply and sharp and also precisely. So that is Vikku Vinayakaram master. Then from his lineage, so we have Umayalpuram Shankara Iyer. Then after that we have T.R. Harihara Sharma. T.R. Harihara Sharma is Vikku Vinayakaram's father. Okay, so Vikku Vinayakaram learned from T.R. Harihara Sharma. Then my guru, which is Suresh Vaidyanathan, learned from Vikku Vinayakaram master. So the lineage continues where I am now being disciple of Suresh Vaidyanathan sir. So these are the legend peoples that have established themselves as an Ghatam artists all this while. And right now, if you look in India itself, there are so many Ghatam artists. So many people have taken up this instrument to actually play. Okay, Of course, not forgetting throughout the world, because not only in India, we have Ghatam artists throughout the world, which is including me, which is I'm based in Malaysia. Then I do have some of the disciples of my guru, where he's in Japan, okay. Then and also some of them from South Africa. We also have some people from US. So name it. So each countries. I mean, I think you have Ghatam artists throughout the whole world. Of course, it is not covering the whole entire country, entire world, but of course we have you have the establishment of Ghatam in each region of the world.